The Hobbit is the most disappointing movie since Dark Knight Rises.
I think The Hobbit was an okay movie. So was The Dark Knight Rises, and I have a
Ugh.
cold, which I mentioned to
No, you mentioned
myself.
in the previous failed recording.
But now we have ideas more firmly in our head, and I think we should start off talking about how they made three movies.
Yes. So it's pretty obvious that they like made the three movies because they wanted to make more money.
Yeah, and I think people. It's kind of weird going over the same conversation, but I do think people
Yeah.
were asking for a trilogy.
Yeah, but I think it's more. I don't think they were asking for like a trilogy.
No, I don't think The Hobbit should have been a
Yeah,
trilogy.
of the Hobbit. I think they just wanted another
I mean,
trilogy of
if you think
movies.
about it, the majority of that Hobbit movie wasn't actually like about the book. It was about
Yeah,
this necromancer.
like
They could have.
what was I gonna say? I don't remember what I was gonna say, James. Yeah,
Say it.
yeah, I remember. Peter Jackson, like when people like found out that it was gonna be a trilogy, and then like some people didn't like it.
Yeah.
That fact, Peter Jackson kind of tried to play it off like he was like giving the fans what they wanted.
Ah. Yeah.
It was
Well,
kind of like,
pals.
oh, I feel like it would make more sense if we split it into three movies.
I know. It's
Like
like
otherwise you won't get the full story. It's like what? No.
no, we would have got the full story until you added all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
you
Was it
could
in there?
make it into two movies and we get the full story.
They're trying to link it in with the Lord of the Rings. I don't blame them because but it should have been its own separate thing.
Yeah,
Doesn't need to be linked. We didn't need all that extra stuff. It
yeah.
should have been one or two movies. That would have been fine.
It should have been two movies.
Yeah,
Like the first movie, oh, they're
yeah.
going up to fight Smaug, and then the second movie they fight him and go home.
I think I think we should talk about the start of the movie, then the middle, and then the end.
That's generally how it goes.
So let's start off with the beginning.
Okay, in the beginning,
I liked it.
eh, I feel the. Are we talking about the movie in thirds?
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't like the first third. I thought it was kind of boring and slow. But you
I
know,
like slow beginnings to movies. I
well,
like
I just think it didn't really feel like the epic adventure that it was trying to be. Because you know, the dwarves are
yeah. No, now I've got it all figured out in my head.
the dwarves are like singing and like
Yeah, they were trying to
oh,
do both. They were
dwarves
trying to
don't
make it
sing.
like
God damn it! They're trying to
yeah, they
make it
do.
into like a whimsical kind of kiddish adventure as well.
Well, if you think about it,
Kind of.
he did write it for his children, and the
Well,
dwarves did sing in the book.
well, you didn't actually hear them because you just read it. They're just words on a page. You don't have to
I suppose.
read the words to the tune of the song.
Except they were more. I always pictured them as more jolly.
It was Mondra.
But
Yes.
it's like in the movie, they were like, oh,
Just someone's editing the movie and it's like
misty
someone's editing the
mountains.
movie and it's like, do you see anything wrong with this scene? He's like, no. Do you? He's like, yes. It needs more jolly. It's like,
That's exactly
oh,
what I was thinking.
good thinking, sir.
Just like press a button. It's like,
More jolly. You
anyways,
just like it's just like a lever that's just like jolly. The jollyometer.
so yeah, it steps up the beginning of the movie. I like slow endings. It did justice to the book,
I
and
don't
then
like
after
slow
that,
endings. I like you said slow endings.
I went slow beginnings.
I know what you meant.
I like fast
In the
endings.
slow beginnings.
Um, I think the justice to the book. After that, it started to go slightly downhill, but I still didn't mind. It had a few generic characters.
Yeah.
They did some
Yasmin,
side
I'm
plot
looking at
stuff.
you.
The Brown Wizard, what the hell? No,
Why rabbits? Why are all rabbits a
I
thing?
don't. It doesn't make
Were
any
they in the
sense.
book?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if they're in law or not, but they might. But seriously though, after that,
Yeah, Peter Jackson was just looking on like a Lord of the Rings fan lore website.
started to make it like two, like they're trying to make it into two movies. One of like the personal small tale.
Yeah, one of the like
The other one's like an epic
epic
world-ending
action
adventure.
adventure movie.
I mean, The Hobbit isn't like it's still pretty big events in the world, but
Yeah,
it's mainly based around Bilbo and his adventures. Um,
this movie was. I feel like
it
the
starts to
movie was
focus
kind of.
off Bilbo a bit.
It was like the character based stuff was like based around Bilbo,
Yeah,
but the action stuff was based more around like
yeah.
Thorin and
The thing
Loki.
is, dwarves weren't really explored that well in the book, and then again in the movie, they were explored a bit more, but not very well. I don't think. Like, I don't really care if any of the dwarves die, or
Yeah,
it's just like there's too many of them.
it's like there's too many to care.
Yeah, which it's not. I don't really know what they could have done with that. I think. I think they could have had some sort of like main. I think what they should have done is had some sort of main key dwarves in the group and focus on them a lot more
Yeah,
instead of on like all of them. They should have just had a few background dwarves so you didn't have to worry about. That's what I'm thinking. And you had that generic villain, whatever his name is, Skog, whatever, the white orc.
yeah,
Um, the ending wasn't really an ending. It's more like it's about 1/3 of the way through the trilogy, so it's more like I don't know.
yeah,
We get to see a bit of character development for Bilbo. He becomes like he saves Thorin, Oakenshield. Aside from that, I thought it was a good movie. I didn't have my expectations too high. I was just expecting like not an awe-inspiring movie. I was just expecting
yeah,
a nice one. Um, when it gets crushed by like the hype over it, people expecting it and comparing it to
yeah.
Lord of the
Comparing
Rings,
it to
it's
Lord
not.
of the Rings, even though it came out first, which didn't
Yeah,
make any sense.
and it's just like, well, they're not the same thing. I mean, they're not set in the same universe, but the two movies have completely different tones. The two books have completely different tones.
Yeah,
Um, very rarely will you get a sequel that's better. I know this is like a separate thing, but if you think like the Lord of the Ring movies, I count them as like one thing, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
And the
So is that everything we didn't like in the movie? Let's go start.
well, if you have anything else to say, I feel like I said a lot.
Mm, why did that fat dwarf eat loads of cheese?
Here's a better question: why did Bilbo have 100 wheels of cheese in his like?
Yeah, why did he have
Like,
so much?
is that all he eats?
Why did he have so much
Cheese?
food?
Is it gonna be like a
It's just
twist
him
ending
and
where it turns
Frodo,
out
right?
he's like half mouse and he could like sneak
Yeah, why did they
past?
have so much food? It's just him and Frodo. And, like he said, he doesn't like guests or anything, so you know.
And even Frodo isn't like always there. So it's just,
Yeah,
I mean, I know hobbits eat a lot and they're proud of their food, but seriously, what's up with all the cheese?
what's up with all the cheese, man?
Other than that, I thought the movie went well, but not amazing.